almost exactly 2 years since I've uploaded a video about Battlefield onto my main channel here, which is it's crazy. This is one of the games that started out all of my content, although it wasn't the first one that I started to create content on. I got a lot of traction off my YOLO series. Anybody?
No, I only need 5 more minutes.
Piss myself.
Can I just have 5 more minutes, please? Okay. 5 minutes, that's it, I promise. All right, I just got intel from HQ. ETA 5 minutes to bedtime, boys. Let's wrap it up.
ETA 5 minutes of bedtime, Battlefield 3, then going into Battlefield 4, created way more content on that, as well as, of course, doing some YOLO content, talking about weapons, guns, gameplays, then going into Battlefield Hardline. Crazy. I was so stoked for this game, and I actually really enjoyed it because I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos, multiple videos every single week up on this game that everybody was saying that they hated. But there were some of us out there that were real ones still playing the game, and some of you guys were out there watching it. It was a lot of fun. Driving around in circles, trying to get away with the car, but we're just, although it didn't really completely make sense, it was a good time. And then on top of that, Battlefield 1, the launch of that game, being able to play myself in the first ever multiplayer revealed the game alongside Snoop Dogg, Wiz, it was one of the craziest experiences. We were in a competition. Our team ended up beating Neebs Gaming. Of course, the Battlefield friends, guys, absolutely love them. Then coming into Battlefield 5, everybody's expecting World War II, like D-Day on the trailer, but it didn't come off super great for some of the launch of it. Nonetheless, it was a great experience. I uploaded a ton of videos on it. I loved the multiplayer. I loved the experience. And then they came out with Firestorm, their introduction into Battle Royale. They had the destructible environment. You could have a tank in it. There was even helicopters somehow. The concept of the fire closing in on all the directions. There was a great video from Jack Frags. If you guys don't know him in Battlefield, oh, it's a masterpiece. But it brought back a ton of those memories of what the Firestorm was. We might even have to watch a gameplay, do just a reaction to seeing it again, because to Jack's video's point, there's really nobody playing it on PC these days. And here we are about to get some information on the next Battlefield that's going to be coming later this year. With all that then, what do we actually know about this Battlefield so far? It really is not much, but the little bit that we do have has led to so many questions in my streams every single day. I can tell you the hype is building. I'm getting so many people asking, what do you think about the new Battlefield? Is this going to be the Warzone killer, especially with Warzone and some of the turbulence that it's faced over the past year? It being one of the big games, and obviously Call of Duty in general always being a big competitor for Battlefield. Although there's been some rumors and articles posted about this, this has really been the big initiation point for this. Battlefield put a tweet out, words that rhyme with soon. June. Boom. Mic drop right there. That's all I got to do. Well, it's now June, and with that, we got a huge new update. Not really. We just know now the reveal date is going to be June 9th at 7 a.m. Pacific. That's still all we know. A lot of you guys probably even found me from playing Call of Duty, Apex, PUBG over these past couple of years. I don't know how, but maybe it wasn't Battlefield and you've never played it. You got to understand that this is a franchise that has been around for decades. They go on a slower release cycle, usually every 2 years for their game rather than every year like Call of Duty. And at least comparatively to Battlefield versus Call of Duty, the big difference was the massive scale that Battlefield had versus Call of Duty's kind of more close range, arcadey, kill, not so much squad-based gameplay, but fast-paced shooter style. And there are a lot of similarities, whether that's hit markers, the UI in general, mini-maps. But it diverges when it comes to vehicle warfare, destructible environment. Some of that Call of Duty's picked up on, especially with the vehicles and the massive scale that Warzone has. I think the engines, the hardware that people use, the consoles, PCs, everything has gotten better. So now it's easier for all these other games to go to much bigger scale. Modern Warfare and now even Cold War have these massive scale maps. They have vehicles, especially in Warzone. There's 150 player lobbies, but there's still so much that just is not there. So much that Call of Duty doesn't deliver for absolutely everybody. Although they do have millions and millions of players who do enjoy it, there's even more that have faded off, even more that are looking for something new. And many, including myself, think there's room for a new top dog in the space. What we've heard directly from EA and CEO Andrew Wilson in some of these earnings calls to investors said that it, quote, is going to bring massive and immense battles to life with more players than ever. Of course, classically known for 64 players. Speculation has it at 128. Still not 150 or 200 like we've even seen in Warzone, for example. But keep in mind that this is probably going to be sustained over an entire battle, respawning constantly, rather than what we see in Warzones with solos where it starts with 150 and it's down to 20 in like 5 minutes. But he does mention specifically bringing the powerhouse of the next-gen consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. This is going to have unprecedented scale and the next division of Battlefield to take all the destruction, player agency, and vehicles, weapon combat that the franchise is known for and elevating it to an entirely another level. It's supposed to be coming holiday 2021, especially if they're revealing a trailer. It looks like it's on pace for this year. And that's at least what's concrete. And I say that because sometimes they'll say stuff that doesn't necessarily live up to the hype of what they say as well, right? We hear things about free DLC coming, and while we do get some, it's really not at the expectations of what everybody wants with some of the content that comes out. There was also an article saying that this probably isn't going to come to last-gen consoles. The speculation of that coming from a common leaker, him basically saying he hasn't heard talks of it on the previous console or seen any information on that yet, so that's why it's not really anticipated. And even quotes from DICE general manager Oscar Gabrielson talking about how the next Battlefield's going to have epic scale, all-out military warfare, crazy unexpected moments, game-changing destruction, massive battles packed with more players and mayhem than ever, similar to, again, what we heard before, all brought to life with the power of the next-gen consoles and PCs. Get ready for the reveal soon. At least they haven't said anything about the previous gen so far. This sounds great to me. Obviously, I'm actually playing on PC. I want to continue to see crazy pushes in terms of the scale and everything that they can do with these games. Without having the developers having to worry about the previous gen, makes me optimistic for what they could do with this. If you look at, for example, Cyberpunk, which I believe actually was initially designed for the previous gen and then tried to go over what they came out with on the previous gen was so disappointing they just pulled it off of all of PlayStation. There's been multiple things that have leaked, one of them being actually a trailer as well, which does appear to be pretty legitimate. However, according to Eurogamer, this is just something that was made not only a while ago, but something that was really just for an internal trailer to show investors. Other developers really only ever meant for internal uses. Something that's old, doesn't represent the current state of the game. Now, I've seen early state trailers before, but I've never seen an internal trailer, so I don't know how that compares to what is going to be external and eventually released in terms of the full game. There's been tons of predictions, speculation, and even unverified leaks, of course, but I wanted to focus on some of the most legit stuff that I had seen. If you've seen anything else that looks really interesting, as official as we can possibly get, tag me in it, or if you see anything new pop up on Facebook, Twitter, I'd love to take a look, even on stream if I don't end up making a full video here on it. I'm at a point where I'm keeping myself kind of guarded on my expectations. Although it is very easy for me to get extremely hyped about games. I don't know about you guys, but it's just how I am, especially in a franchise that I love so much. I've got so much history in. From recent years, my tastes have changed. What I'm looking for in games has changed. And it just kind of, it is what it is, but that's not bad. That's why I'm just keeping my expectations low. I assume that they're going to be coming out with a multiplayer game. That's what this entire franchise is. And I see a lot of people, including myself, of course, hyped on the Battle Royale side. Maybe we'll have one, but it's a multiplayer game. I've greatly enjoyed those in the past, and I still enjoy them to an extent today, especially for the sake of content creation. I think it's gonna be fun for a couple weeks for my channel. We'll have some new maps, some modes, vehicles, items to unlock. My guess is after that, I'll probably be turning back to a Battle Royale. For me, the intensity of those end games, especially so consistently, is just, it's so much fun. Yeah, you do get that every once in a while in a Conquest or whatever the mode, you get those close games and they're a blast. But I know it's also something I can really consistently enjoy for myself from an experience in a Battle Royale. Maybe they come out with some other new mode that makes it even crazier and it's even better. I would be down, but I can't expect that right now, right? We've also seen some really cool things in the past, like private servers. Even back in Battlefield 4, you could have and own your own server, bring people in on, and they kind of eventually came out with some of those things like in Battlefield 1, but they weren't really there at launch. So even on that front, my expectations are going to be low. I think it's going to be after a couple months, we'll see more things released. Fingers crossed, one of those is consistent good DLC with nice maps, new weapons, new ways to play the game, because especially in multiplayers, that's something that really helps it continue to live on. Especially compared to Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, though, a lot of the more recent ones, there just hasn't been much of it. And this is another assumption, but I'm assuming a couple months later, that's when we would see a Battle Royale. This is how Firestorm was when it came out, multiple months after the game's release. Same thing with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Multiple months after the game's release. This way, they're not having to juggle the release of a multiplayer as well as a Battle Royale, as well as, of course, a campaign. I think we saw when Black Ops 4 came out, it was like a couple days later, Blackout came out, the Battle Royale for that game. But that was also behind the paywall of actually buying the game, which is also how, of course, Battlefield did it with their Firestorm. Based on Firestorm's, for lack of a better words, flop, especially on PC, you couldn't even really find games just a couple weeks after it coming out. I'm just not so sure how big they're going to be investing into the Battle Royale scene in general. They've also got Apex Legends, which is absolutely killing it for them. And do they want to compete in that space? I do think this would be a different enough game to where they could. And I would love to see it, but I'm not so sure. Personally, I think Battlefield has more game and more room to get into this space than almost any other franchise. How well loved this game is, how much excitement there is, even for like the destructible environment aspects and stuff that they tried to do in Firestorm, really just going all out with it and fully investing in it. There's a lot of potential. I think one of the other games that has a lot of potential is Halo Infinite, which we're going to be getting some news on early June as well. I don't necessarily think that they're going to do that, but with how massive that audience is, I feel like it could be one of the biggest ones ever. Call of Duty, with the release of Warzone, invested hard in it. They make the game free. All the weapons, DLC, whatever comes to the game, you can play it, unlock it for free. It's just cosmetics that you purchase. Even with the next game that came out of Cold War, they integrated it right back into Warzone. Changed Warzone from Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone to just its own standalone Warzone, and it's its own game. It's blown up, and it really doesn't have a lot of competition. PUBG, Apex Legends, to a degree, yeah, but those are also extremely different games. Not only from the gameplay, but just the feel and the style of the game in general. Battlefield, while it's not necessarily the same as COD, I would say is a much closer competitor. And if they did have that competition, it would just be that much better for the players as a whole. Maybe Warzone actually would do a new map rather than saying they're nuking the map and we just get, 20, 30% map change. I'm expecting Battlefield to have an epic trailer. They always do. It's going to be huge hype. I'm going to be stoked on it. Even me trying to keep my expectations low, like I'm thinking about it like every day. It's going to be good multiplayer action for a couple weeks. Then I'll probably go back to Warzone or whatever Battle Royale. Call of Duty likely is going to be coming out with their own another game this year, right? They come out with a game every year. That's going to update Warzone. Maybe we will see a new map. Maybe that's what Call of Duty's saving all their good big home runs for. It'll be some good content until Battlefield comes out with their Battle Royale. Maybe if they even do a couple months later. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. I just went over all the information we have, but we barely have any information right now. But you guys wanted to hear some of my thoughts on all of this stuff. I'm literally asked about it all the time. If you enjoyed the video and you want me to stay up to date on it and keep updating you guys with videos like this, give it a like. Let me know. Make sure you're subscribed because tons of you guys watch my content and you're not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe! And I'm definitely going to keep you updated, especially as it comes out and any of the big stuff. You can also stop by the streams every single weekday, noon Pacific, and I'll see you there. That's it for this one, though. Thanks so much for watching. This is Stoneman64. Over and out.